if you're a corp full and you're trying to acquisition another corp, you're probably thinking in your head like, okay, margin. We talked about margin yesterday. There's a whole clip about margin we're going to have to post, I guess, but we talked about margin, basically. So if you're corp full, if you're put, basically margin, if you put $1 million down for the corp, you better be getting 2 million. That's the margin, basically. It's simple. You better be getting 2 because it's like you just wasted your bread. You know, like you're basically just like cooking your bread. Why would you just like cook your bread? You know, got to get your bread back. It makes sense. And like, they probably saw like Max was doing good. He was eating. They were like, you know, you'll be fine. You know, because they probably had the analytics. They were like, oh yeah, Max is eating good. He could give us 20. And then Max is like, Max is like, no, that's my 20. Makes sense. Because if the deal was never signed, we got to understand that from that perspective. Because it's like, I've signed deals. Like, I've signed deals, guys. So, makes sense. Makes sense. You got to understand, like, the deal. You know? Like, if they're signing a deal, then it's like, you got to abide by the contract. But if there was never a contract signed, then it's like, they're probably just like, you know, whatever. You know? And then out of nowhere, they're like, oh, yeah, give me 20. That would be, I mean, if they presented the contract, Max was saying, like, he signed a contract. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we need some updates now. We need updates now, currently. Because it's like, why is Banks the first fool out talking? That's weird. It's not weird though. It's like, it's weird but not weird, you know, because like Banks is like probably like trying to save his head because they were already trying to dump bro. But it's like, come on, guys. If you think about it, like, I'm new to the content, so I'm not really like, but I could keep up a little. So it's like if these fools were popping, because you're all talking about like it takes like damn near 10 years to blow. So it's like they were probably up before FaZe even met these fools, right? They were probably up before FaZe even met them, and then they meet FaZe, and then FaZe is like, yeah, you know, we got the house. Like, Banks is like, yeah, we got the house for you. You know, we got everything for you planned out. And then they're like, nice. And then they're like, you know, we got the house and everything. And then they're like, all right, nice, thanks, cool. And then Banks is like, he's like, you know, we got the house for you, right? And then they're like, yeah, we know. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. And then Banks is like, he's like, all right, whatever. 2 years down the road, they're like, all right, bro sells the shit to someone else, basically. Because, like, when it comes to the point of, like, being, like, I think they were just, like, maybe it was just, like, they were just being too nice to each other, basically, you know? They were probably just being too nice to each other. So, that's what happened. Like, Banks was probably like, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I got 40 millions to flush, which is crazy. Like, how do you just have 40 M's to just... That's where it's kind of sus. 40 M's. Guys, Have you ever touched an M in your life? Someone please comment. An M is crazy to even touch. Let alone 40 of them. And then you just dump that shit? Makes no sense. This is a tough situation, to be honest, because it's like I feel bad for these fools.